Welcome back, True Seeker. Got some good news. Should be doing a live stream with Jonathan this weekend. Again, he's been working on a book for several years now, just like I've been working on my book. His book is about the repetitive pattern of 38 in the world of hip hop related deaths. And of course, this number 38 does extend beyond the world of hip hop when it comes to celebrity death. It's very common, but it's very, very common in the world of hip hop. So he's been working on a book for years called 38 Special. And right now you have so many people consumed with this storyline between these two famous rappers releasing songs back and forth, diss tracks, they call them, insulting each other back and forth, bragging about, it's a pissing contest, essentially. That's what it is, right? It's a pissing contest. Everyone knows what that is. But Drake, whose life is being threatened in this pissing contest, he's about to turn 38 years old. He turns 38 later this year. That's a relatively old age for a famous rapper. There's a lot of them in the 90s that didn't make it out of their mid-20s. And of course, if you're following these stories, the media is doing it for you. They're drawing the parallels to the history of Tupac and Notorious B.I.G. and rap rivalries and how death can come out of them. And as we know, Tupac, well, there's a lot of things that are funny about Tupac's date of death, but one of the things that's funny is he died on the anniversary of Biggie's album, Ready to Die. And then, of course, Biggie died, and then the album was put out right after his death, Life After Death. And it's kind of like Tupac's last music video was him in heaven for I Ain't Mad at You. And then they put out the album with him like Jesus on the cross on Remember the 5th of November. Again, we're going to talk about why it matters that Machiavelli album with Tupac on the cross came out 53 days after his reported death, in light of the real Machiavelli's birthday being 5/3, May 3rd, the day that Kendrick Lamar just put out the diss track 616 in LA, when 616 is Tupac's birthday and he was claiming LA at the end of his life. But yeah, we're going to connect a lot of dots here. And we're also going to go back to the death of the Los Angeles rapper Drakeo, the Ruler, who died December 19, 2021. Earlier that year, he had done a song with Drake. And then he died 38 days after Drake put out the song, I believe it was with 21 Savage, if I remember right. The guy with a knife tattooed on his face. But 38 days after the song Knife Talk came out, Drakeo, the Ruler, was stabbed to death, stabbed in the neck. And again, we're going to look at the parallels between what happened back then and also just this story about this supposed drive-by shooting in this very ritzy neighborhood where Drake's mansion is, that reportedly happened early this morning about 2 a.m. local time. Wonder if it was 2:01 a.m. But anyhow, just to get over the basics, today's news, if you've been following the news, like everything is 57. Sports news, it's crazy how many 57s are on the board today. Stormy Daniels is a big story today because she testified and her name's 57. It's today's May 7th, 5/7. If you're new here, Gematria, the Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words. It's an old thing that goes back to Babylon. The metal band Slipknot has a song called Gematria, the killing name. The band The Police that sang that song from the 80s, Every Step You Take, Every Breath You Take, I'll Be Watching You. They have the album Synchronicity. On that album is the song Murder by Numbers, where killings as simple as ABC is 1, 2, 3. You learn about this number code, you start to see where these things fit in. Kendrick Lamar in this code equals 57, just like Aubrey Graham. And Aubrey Graham is the birth name of the rapper Drake. Both of their names equal 57. And on this May 7th, 5/7 date, their rap rivalry now climaxes to a shooting that is seemingly somehow connected. The one rapper's been threatening his life, saying people close to him are ready to do him in. He's got it coming. So before we go any further with this May 7th news, again, in case you are new here, again, Drake's going to turn 38 years old later this year. Huge number related to death in Gematria. And it's because the words death, murder, killing, they all equate to 38. So does the word rapper. Tupac, Notorious B.I.G. They both died on dates with numerology of 38. So many rappers have died in connection to 38, whether it was 38 days from their birthday, et cetera, et cetera. It's just a very familiar pattern that we've talked about many a times. I told Jonathan what would make a good show this weekend is, again, him going through his book and just getting the top 10 explanations of very famous hip hop deaths with the number 38, because there is a lot. Might even be hard to narrow it down to a top 10. For all you guys out there who like to study the work and are into hip hop music like a lot of people are, I mean, just go and look at all the suspicious deaths in the industry and see how much the number comes up. A lot. So, again, other things to know if you're new here. The film Murder by Numbers, the same title as the song that's from the year 83. Notice how the movie poster, they make the E, the 3, and the B, the 8. 3-8 in Murder by Numbers. Just like murder, death, killing, R.I.P., rapper. They all have that gematria 38. And the big way, 83, like how the song came out in 83. When Drakeo the Ruler got stabbed in the neck, they said it happened at 8:30 p.m. If you haven't seen the newer House Party movie they put out with LeBron James, came out maybe, I don't even think 2 years ago now, but not to ruin the movie for you, the rapper Kid Cudi. This isn't like a crucial thing. It might ruin it a little bit. If you don't want to know, just mute your ears for like 30 seconds. But he's 38 years old at the time this movie came out, and he gets murdered in the end of the movie by the Illuminati. That's what it is in the movie. He gets murdered by the Illuminati at age 38 at the end of the film. And he had to do that. He ended up getting murdered as a punishment. He had a chance to fight to save his life, but he couldn't. He had to do that because he kind of broke the Illuminati oath. He screwed up, and so there were consequences. And he just happened to be 38. And this movie just came out like the other year after we've been talking about this for a decade. I was like, man, just put it right in the movies, just mocking. Okay, so just to quickly recap today's story. It's May 7th. It's 5-7. In Gematria, Kendrick Lamar and Aubrey Graham equate to 57. Okay, what a perfect day for this climax today. Shots have been fired. Shots fired. That phrase. Entertainer equates to 57. It's been a fateful number for some entertainers. Prince died at 57. Then Charlie Murphy, who was connected to those Prince skits, died at age 57. When Prince died at 57, he was in his 58th year of life, and he died right after the 58th Grammys, and his ex-girlfriend from the time of Purple Rain died the day of the 58th Grammys. Vanity. Purple Rain in Gematria equates to 58. That year was the 58th U.S. presidential election. We know how Prince died 201 days before the election. He did the song Black Donald Trump, 201. Big Illuminati number. Look at this headline from a couple of years ago, you guys, about this 57 thing, though. Drake, this is from Variety Magazine. Drake signs LeBron-sized deal with Universal Music Group. LeBron-sized has that gematria 57, reminding you it's no slouch of a number. Again, there's a reason that several of the first U.S. presidents were inaugurated at age 57, including George Washington. In light of George Washington being the first inaugurated U.S. president in the history books, in 1789, the year Georgetown was established. Georgetown has that gematria 57. Again, that's the first Jesuit university. The Jesuits wrote the rites for the Scottish rites. Scottish rite equates to 57. Big number over in England, where a lot of this stuff comes from. But understand, 57, special number. There's a lot more to say about it. Has a lot to do with the moon and the cycles of the moon, but it's not an arbitrary number, okay? That's why it's encoded in this headline. And by the way, just comparing it to LeBron, you might recall LeBron has the only lifetime contract of a celebrity ever. He has a lifetime contract with Nike. And when he got that at the time, we said, what does that mean? What's that mean to have a lifetime contract? How's that work? And of course, Drake, he has that hit song at the beginning of his career, earlier in his career, Forever, and LeBron James is the theme of that song and that music video. We know about all the bodies connected to LeBron over the years. Drake has bodies connected to him over the years, just things we've documented time and time again. Um, I'm going to skip down some of these things. Are you can read the post for more information, but yeah, just about Drake turning 38 later this year. Uh, Again, death, murder, killing, RIP, all 38 in Gematria like rapper. September 13th, 1996, the numerology of the day Tupac died is 38. The day that Biggie died, March 9th, 1997, 38. And again, Biggie equals 39, like he died on 3/9. New York's 39. Big number in New York is 39. They've been doing it all over with the Knicks in the playoffs. We had the other night when Brunson put in his 39th points and the 111th for the team when New York's 111 and 39, and this year the playoffs started on the 111th day of the year and the Knicks scored 111. It's been hilarious. But anyway, Drake, he's 37 years old right now. The word shooting equals 37, as does Los Angeles. This theme with Tupac and Kendrick Lamar's recent album. When you're 37, you're in your 38th year of life. When you turn 38, you begin your 39th year of life. That's interesting for Drake because 38 is connected to death and Drake equals 39. Here, I want to rewind and go back to the Drakeo the Ruler death because we're going to talk about why it matters that today, the day of this shooting, has 56 date numerology. But here's a post from December of 2021. So it'll turn 3 years old later this year. And first sentence, Drakeo the Ruler has died 56 days after Drake's birthday. Again, they did a song together earlier in the year. Drakeo the Ruler was born Daryl Caldwell, which equates to 263, which is the 56th prime number. And we're going to get to how the record label for Drake, let me come down, Universal Music Group, how they fit in today. They also have that 263 connection, the 56 prime. If you're new here, these numbers come together all the time, 263 and 56. See what we just talked about with Obama, the winner of the 56th U.S. presidential election, and the protests at Columbia starting 263 days after his birthday, where he went to school, and how that was connected to Shirley Chisholm, who also went there, who became the first black congresswoman 56 years ago, as they raid Hamilton Hall 56 years to the day. If you're new here, 56 is one of these instrumental numbers that we talk about all the time. And right now, you guys, just what I'm working on behind the scenes, I'm working on several different children's books at once that are all pretty short, but I'm just trying to by working on them together, I'm trying to make sure that there's like little themes and pieces that go together in each book. But I'm trying to get like the right group of numbers to just teach about from the base. Like, for example, 54 is huge, 56 is huge, 201 is huge. Of course, numbers like 33 are huge. But right now, I'm working on trying to make it just right. So just one book on one number that teaches the symbolism of that number, and then eventually later on in the book series, how they start coming together. At least that's the idea for now. So anyway, that's going on behind the scenes. But yeah, this 56 thing. When Drakeo the Ruler died, it was 56 days after Drake's birthday. And again, there that is right there. And that was, well, there's a lot of familiar numbers there, but it was 38 days after the release of the song Knife Talk. And yeah, it was the rapper Drake with the rapper 21 Savage, who has the knife tattooed on his head. Just over and over. And I know Jonathan's probably been working on his book 38 special since about the time that I did this post years ago. There's something to say about this too, because again, Saturn is very important to the occult. It's the keeper of time. It's connected to death and judgment. Drakeo the Ruler died during Saturnalia. He was stabbed on the second day of Saturnalia and died on the third day. It begins December 17th, which is the Pope's birthday. But yeah, Drake was 35 years old when that happened. And this diss 616 in LA, the one put out on the real Machiavelli's birthday, again, that was May 3rd, a date that can be written 3/5 or 5/3. Again, Tupac died and the Machiavelli album came out 53 days later on that special Jesuit day, Guy Fawkes Day. Remember the 5th of November. But again, just you can see that the overlap with the same use of numbers that we've talked about so many times. And it's funny because Drake had just put out that Certified Lover Boy album right before that death. And that's the one that Kendrick Lamar just made fun of. He said something about certified lover boy, more like certified pedophile. And then he put out the picture of his house with a whole bunch of like pedophile warnings on the house. And now that's the same house where the shooting is today. See what I mean? And you see how that album came out for Drake on September 3rd? Saturn the Big Way is 93. Saturn the Small Way is 21, like Drake and Jesuit. And the first Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis, happens in the 21st century, and his birthday is Saturnalia. Again, it's a lot to explain, but these themes are recurring and important. Saturn is also connected to Satan in the occult. And Kendrick Lamar just put out the diss track on the Church of Satan's birthday. And again, you study the Church of Satan, you realize that the Jesuit Illuminati fingerprints are all over that as well, as we've talked about so many times. But this date can be written 9-3. It can also be written 3-9, like Drake is 39. So I'm thinking, okay, this Drake album was synced up with the death of Drakeo the Ruler. And now Drake's coming up on 38 when this man died 38 days after the song was put out. This man also died 107 days after Drake's album, Certified Lover Boy. Ritual sacrifice equals 107. Fateful pattern, 107 is. But yeah, that was the sixth album, Saturn, the sixth planet. Saturn numbers all over it. Saturn connected to death. This man's death perfectly synced with the album. Not an accident. And now Drake coming up on 38, and he'll begin his 39th year of life. And notice that today they said his security guard was shot, and he has potentially deadly injuries. So we'll see if there's an update on that story. But do pay attention if there's any update on Drake's bodyguard. He could have been the actual target for this ritual if there really is. Again, and again, people get mad. They're like, Zach makes the news seem real. You guys, I don't know if these stories are real, completely made up. The point I'm making is whether it is completely made up or this happened, there's a clear ritual and pattern, and it points back to a certain order that's doing it so that those people can be exposed and these types of things can stop. And again, there's a lot of evidence to support the case for who's doing it. And it's overwhelming, and it's present in almost all these rituals. Again, 56, hallmark number of the Jesuits. Again, 2Pac on the cross like Jesus. On the day leaving 56 days left in the year. Society of Jesus 56. Black Lives Matter 56. The only physical description of Jesus in the Bible. Hair like wool, darker complected skin. But yes, this news today, this shooting, 170 days before Drake's birthday. Sacrifice has that gematria of 170. 170. Another fateful pattern. Says Drake's security guard seriously injured in shooting at Toronto mansion. Again, the music group, Universal Music Group equals 263. The 56 prime today's got the 56 date numerology. It's another number that's always around these rituals. And the president CEO of Universal Music Group is Lucian Grange, born February 29th. That means today is his 69th day of his age. So Lucian Grange, the CEO of the music company, it's his 69th day of his age. Notice how Aubrey Graham, the name of Drake, is 57 forwards, like 5'7", 69 in reverse. The 120 is interesting because, of course, Illuminati is 120, and 120 is the 15th triangular number, and that's why the Illuminati's birthday is the first day of the 5th month, and Skull and Bones gives us 15 new members per year at Yale, and they're modeled after the Illuminati. But there's something called the Order of Owls in light of Drake being associated with the owl. And again, the owl can see in the darkness. Its eyes light up the darkness. Illuminati, illuminated. Light is knowledge in the occult. Anyway, The Order of Owls was established in 1904. That means they turn 120 this year. So that's also interesting about Aubrey Graham, who again is Drake. And keep in mind, a Drake is a duck. Does duck? Hold on. What's duck equal, real quick? Yeah, duck is six. Duck is 39 like Drake, 69 like Aubrey Graham, and 24 like the year we're in. Because a Drake is a duck, a mallard or something like that. Yeah, he might be the next 38 special. He might be a sitting duck, Aubrey Graham. Time's up. Your number's up. Welcome to the 38 club. We'll see. I'm not wishing that on him at all. And it could be somebody else connected to this beef. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. All these people connected to this industry run this risk. And again, we see that show business, it's either a lot of people are paying the highest price with all the deaths reported around it, or there's some major fibbing going. And Celebrity Island must be a big ass place in the Pacific because I don't know where else all these people be disappearing to. But they clone Tyrone Labs. Again, there are a lot of things in this world could be going on, but again, you just follow the numbers. You see who's playing with you. Look at how in today's press conference, the shooting at his house, the guy, the spokesperson sitting in front of this police car in the background with 3321. You think that's an accident? Drake is 21 forwards, 33 in reverse. As we know, police, orders, secrecy, masonry, they're all 33. Jesuits, 21. The Jesuits and the Masons. I mean, you just look at this nation here, just down south of Canada. The capital city's the Jesuit Masonic city. This is a typo. I gotta fix that. Yeah, this song put out with Drake and Drakeo the Ruler, put out on the 53rd day of the year. You can see it, February 22nd. Again, just 53. The Real Machiavelli, born on 5/3. The Tupac album, 53 days after Tupac's death. Machiavelli, November 5th, 96. The recent disc that got a whole lot of attention, 616 in LA on 5/3, again on the Machiavelli birthday anniversary, the 8th anniversary of Tupac's mother being announced dead. And then to see that Drake signed this huge deal with this record label, and the news was on again when he signed the record deal. I had it in here, right? Let me scroll up to it. It was May 3rd, 2022, the Real Machiavelli's birthday. And now, like, he's supposedly doing diss tracks with a Tupac AI voice sample. I mean, just stuff is just getting cheesier than ever. It's like, how do you even know if it's the person then? If it's like some AI voice in their place. Right here, Variety. Drake signs LeBron-sized deal with Universal Music Group, May 3rd, 2022, 5/3 in the news. Patterns. 5/3 again has the 5/3 connection like 53 and the 3/5 connection like 35, where Rap's 35 and Svengali's 35, and Svengali's that evil hidden hand in the industry. And again, Drake was 35 when Drakeo the Ruler died. By the way, just standout number from Drakeo the Ruler's death to that 6/16 day, kind of like Kendrick Lamar's 6/16 in LA, Tupac's birthday anniversary. Notice it's 911 days. That's 130 weeks later, too, and human sacrifice is 130. So Drake wouldn't quite be 38 yet, but he is 37 in his 38th year of life. And it might not be them; it might be other people in the entertainment industry connected. Again, I'm not keeping up on every last song these people put out, but I heard that in Drake's response, he named a whole bunch of other people too. So they're creating a web. And remember, that's what Svengali's about. Svengali's here. Let's go back to this work because we haven't talked about it for a minute. Again, this is the evil hidden hand in the entertainment industry. And again, the gentleman who shared this information with me used to work in radio show business and got a lot of celebrities through there in the radio show. And one of them was Bill Cosby. And Bill Cosby was starting to tell this man about Svengali in the entertainment world if he wanted to think about it, if he really wanted to get deeper into it. But again, Svengali's got that 35. If you look it up, it's symbolized with a spider. You see how spider is also 35? And again, spiders spin webs. and you start to pay attention to the way show business works, all the ritualism. You see like that again, the red thread of Kabbalah. This whole thing of letters and numbers comes from Kabbalah. The red thread of Kabbalah says all things in the world are tied together. Sometimes you see like in a movie or a TV show, a guy who's trying to solve the crime and he's got 50 things up on the board and he's got all these red threads. But again, it really is something like that when you follow the world of entertainment and show business and the way stories unfold and how day after day they're released by this perfectly numerical code, just day in and day out, just same thing over and over. On 5/7, it's Kendrick Lamar, Aubrey Graham coming to, you know, big time head. And then it's also Stormy Daniels takes the stand for the first time. And Stormy Daniels, it's just, the same thing. And again, these numbers aren't arbitrary. Again, there's a reason that so many of the first presidents were inaugurated at age 57. Secret societies, history, the founding of this country, a whole bunch more things up to now. Again, look up George Washington. He wrote a letter that's in the National Archive, his concerns about the Illuminati overtaking Freemasonry, religion, and other institutions. And I think it happened. Okay, so yeah, this weekend we'll connect with Jonathan. We'll get his take on it. Jonathan follows the world of hip hop a lot more than I do, so he'll have a lot more to say. And again, we'll do a call-in show too. So if you guys, for all you guys out there who want to contribute, and you know what, there's a bunch of short books that I plan to get out before the end of this year that I'm working on right now. I'd like to maybe even do one where like literally it was kind of made in a YouTube live stream. Like somebody, like we just did a fun live session and people either called in or left a really good comment about it's got to be this for this reason. We're like, okay, these are the top 10, 38 specials, if you will, from the community. And we put it together in a book form and add on to the contributions. Could be one community-generated children's book to teach the knowledge. And sadly, this is a good way to teach the knowledge because a lot of people are aspiring to be the next Drake. And they need to see that once you get in this world of show business, man, there might be a lot of bodies connected to your existence in that spotlight. Who was the friend of Drake the other year who got like killed in the lobby of like his apartment? And I want to say he was 33. There's been other stories too. I just forget them, but we talked about them at the time. As time goes on, I got that United States of amnesia syndrome too. I remember there was a friend of his who was gunned down at 33 in the apartment lobby. Okay. Yeah, if you have not seen the House Party movie, the more recent one in LeBron's house, it's almost humorous to watch just through a gematria lens. And when they get to the part about the Illuminati can solve the problem, but then it results in the death of the 38-year-old rapper. It's like, come on, man. Is it all just a big joke? Is it really not happening too? Is it all just false headlines? I want to know where this Illuminati island's at. So nobody, I don't see anyone in the chat who remembers. It might have been Anthony Soares. Let me check that out. That sounds right. I think Anthony Soares is the right name. I remember when it happened, everyone was like, you got to cover this. A few years later, everybody's forgotten. Fifth. His name was Fifth. Here we are in the 5th month, May, and it's getting crazy, at least in the headlines. So they say. 33-year-old Fifth killed. Close friend of Drake rapper, September 14th, 2017. So this was the day after the 2Pac death anniversary. September 13th, the 2Pac death anniversary. Fifth has that gematria 21, like Drake, like Saturn. Just same themes over and over. This post is from 2017. This is way before Drake, the ruler. But again, 21's the 6th triangular number. Saturn's the 6th planet. The one man who just died in a big Saturn ritual synced up with the Drake album. Says police had no idea who did it. It was on camera, but it was too blurry. His friend was 33 years old. Drake has that 33 connection. Says tragedy has arrived at the doorstep of the OVO Sound family late Thursday. Thursday's got that Gematria 35. You can't get more Catholic than Thursday. Late Thursday night, September 14th. That date can be written 14/9, a bit like 149, the 35th prime, kind of like JFK was the 35th president, born on the 149th day of the year, killed on Interstate 35. And again, if you missed what we were talking about with the Oklahoma City and Dallas game tonight, again, it's Oklahoma City's 57th season. It's 5-7. There's all these tornadoes right now in that region. And the strangest tornado of all time in history happened in Dallas in 57. And today's 35 days after that April 2nd anniversary. Either team can pick up the 30. They have it so that either team can hit the 35 tonight in the way the stats are. But Dallas and Oklahoma City are along Interstate 35 where JFK was killed. Anyway, Drake used his Instagram account to confirm the sudden and unexpected death of Fifth, his close friend. And that's what just how everything breaks through social media. That just makes it even seem less real. The internet is so fake. The name of the man was Soars, which in gematria equates to 40. He died on 40 date numerology, 40 days from Drake's birthday. (257th day of the year, September 14th, going with blood sacrifice. Notice how Anthony Soares has that 57, like Aubrey Graham. Anthony Soares is 57 and 69, like Aubrey Graham. Did I not have that in the post? I guess I overlooked that at the time. Anthony Soares, 57, 69. Aubrey Graham, same thing. And remember, today's 5-7, and it's the 69th day of the CEO's age of the record label that it's all synced up with. Again, he signs the 2-year deal, and then, or 2 years ago, he signs the deal with the label, and then on the second anniversary of that headline, his life's being threatened by this other famous rapper who used to be on that same label. I think Kendrick Lamar recently got off that label, but he was almost on that same label his whole career. Small world, right? All a coincidence. There's some other things that are interesting about Anthony Soares Gematria, but just to stick to things we've already talked about, he's got the family T-shirt on in the shot, a necklace with a guy in a ski mask. And I think maybe the people who shot him, were they wearing ski masks? I forget. There's a reason they couldn't figure out who it was. But family's got that Gematria 33. You could also say it was a span of 41 days to Drake's birthday instead of just 40 days before. That's the 13th prime, going with him and his owl. But yeah, I back then when I did these decodes, I mean, like I saw a lot, but I'm sure if we decoded it now, we would have caught even more. We would have caught even more if we did it now, September 14th. So this post is from September 2017. Roy says, listen to Kendrick's verse on the song Nostalgia with Pusha T. He definitely studies numerology. I know I know Pusha T's on that song that they play sometimes on the radio. All these rappers that act like they're the biggest drug dealers. I don't think any of these mainstream rappers have ever been drug dealers. Maybe small time, but I just know that song on the radio. He says something about when the price for the kilo is only 42,000. He knows better. I'm like, man, just always with the 42s. Don't forget, Nas has that song with the Marley, where he says, "Who made up words? Who made up numbers? And what kind of spell is mankind under?" was like, wait a minute, I think Nas knows about this gematria thing. Made up words and numbers and what kind of spell? Again, spell casting, spelling, the dark half of Kabbalah with all this sorcery. Um, Let me see if I can find what you're talking about. Kendrick Lamar, Pusha T, nostalgia. I just need the lyrics. Let's see. Well, it starts with a number 20 plus years of selling Johnson and Johnson. Let me see. I'm just scrolling through to see if I can quickly see. I might have to read it more specifically, but he's mentioned that 87. We talked about how important it is that Kendrick Lamar has all these 87 connections. I see he ends with 87. If you guys missed the videos that we've already done on this, I mean, I'm just like doing it like a series, but you might have missed some posts. Let me see here. Uh, eh, 87. It's just been a rampage, this number, while the Pope's been 87. There was even another famous artist who just died the other day at 87. But let me see if that's where I put it. Yeah, just it matters right now that the Pope, the first ever Jesuit Pope, is 87. There's been so many big 87 stories this year. But Kendrick Lamar, not only is he born in 87, he's got that name Gematria 87, just like the founder of the Jesuits, Ignatius Loyola, is 87, just like the Catholic Church is 87. Huge 87 theme this year. And yeah, again, this one got a ton of attention. This diss track, as the headline said, 139 days from the Pope's birthday. Just another fateful number because Tupac's core equals 139, died on 13/9. Big L, who had, what's his song? The Devil's Son? But he died on the corner of 139th where he was shot. And again, on and on and on. There's a reason for that number too. It's a big masonry number. Freemasonry is 139, like America. The Bavarian Illuminati is 139. 139 is the 34th prime. The word murder and the word rapper. Murder and rapper both equate to 38. And when you run it the other way, 34. They have this 34-38 connection. By the way, from the Drakeo, the ruler death, to when Drake turns 38, that's 34 months later. So there's some numbers around Drake, and again, the thing is, if he doesn't end up as the headline, it'll probably be somebody not too far removed from him. So, but yeah, there's a reason those Masons etch on the temple all his number. And you know what? We did a story years ago about a woman connected to Kendrick Lamar who died. Now that I think about it, it was so many years ago, I forget because we haven't talked about this one as much. Hold on. I remember when they were syncing up, like Rihanna being told to sit down with the Kendrick Lamar song where the chorus is something like "bitch, sit down." Is that how it goes? I forget. It was something real simple, but I was like, "Come on, man!" And then her being told to sit. I mean, come on. You can just. This isn't what I want, though. I know that there was a death of a woman connected to Kendrick Lamar early in his music career. He declared himself a Hebrew Israelite on April 14th. Hard to get more Jesuit than that date. Um, Hold up. There's been a lot of posts connected to connect Kendrick Lamar. He's been involved in a lot of rituals over the years. But yeah, I'm trying to remember who the death is of a young woman. I want to say like her body was found like by a big radio antenna. Here, let me just look at the chat because if somebody knows her name, I can just search that. I know it's an older post. Does anyone remember the woman LaRue Joe? Is that it? LaRue Joe? Hmm. Let me try this. LaRue Joe. I'm not sure that's the one. I don't think that's the one. Lori something? A Lori Joe? Let's see. Because I know we covered this at the time. It was just a long time ago. Woman who leapt from radio tower identified as a Lori Joe. Look at that. That headline from the 42nd day of the year. Come on, man. Died on the 38th day of the year. See, dead at age 25 on the 38th day of the year. You know what I mean? And death equals 38 and 25. That's what I mean. You could write a long book about hip hop related deaths in 38. Death's got the gematria 38, also 97, which is the 25th prime. Notorious equals 97. That's why he died in that year. 97, the 25th prime, like in the 97th NFL season, they moved the touchback to 25 yards, and Falcons equals 25, and they gave up the 25-point lead on 2/5 to Brady. And on and on and on. Brady won that game 38-34, didn't he? I forget all the people who died for that one, but there were people. Every year there are. But yeah, I mean, just case in point right there. I couldn't even remember that she died on the 38th day of the year. But do you really think that's what happened? You think she just climbed up on the radio tower? You know, these guys getting big money to go on the radio waves, and then all of a sudden their talented musical friends just climbing up the tower and committing suicide. I mean, come on. And I mean, look at the date too, 2/7, right? That's the day Big Pun died. They said he just died from being fat. I don't think so. How come Fat Joe's still alive? He's been living a lot longer. Big Pun's is dead on the 38th day of the year. That Hawaiian guy who's really big too, who sung the remix. The remix isn't the right word. He did the cover of the Over the Rainbow, very famous cover of Over the Rainbow. It makes me sad whenever I hear that song somewhere now, and I'm like, man, they killed that dude on the 38th day of the year, and everyone just thinks because he was fat. Same thing as Big Pun, but I might just have to play that song. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about with the Hawaiian song. But yeah, two fat men in the entertainment world both dead on the 38th day of the year. And again, I don't think that was just organic. But let me see if I can find my post on a Lori Joe and see what else I had on that at the time. If you guys go back to my older work, that didn't pull it up. I know I got an older post on this. Did I do it on my newer website? I did do it on this website. I did this post in February of 2021. Look at that. Look at that, you guys. I mean, look at it. 56 weeks after her song was Schoolboy Q, who was getting a lot of radio attention back then. I mean, I couldn't even remember what it was about this girl, but it's all the same stuff. 38th day of the year, 56 weeks after her song. I mean, Absol connected to the death, another 38. She's found in Rancho Dominguez, 83. Again, Murder by Numbers, the song came out in 83. Murder by Numbers, the movie poster code's 38 and 83. Hold up. Oh, snap. Here, again, just the Murder by Numbers movie poster in case you got United States of Amnesia too. 3883. Oh, shout out to David Casanova. Thank you for the generosity. I'll respond more to your comment in a moment here when I finish. Appreciate it. Yeah. Okay. It says, in light of Kendrick Lamar, Absol, Schoolboy Q, and the rest of his clique being LA based, it's important to note her supposed date of death had 41 numerology. LA equals 41. So LA's 41. We know Kobe Bryant's 41. He died at age 41 on the Pope's 41st day of his age while traveling from Catholic Mass. Um, today's shooting at Drake's house. It's 41 days before Kendrick Lamar's birthday, which is 6/17, one day after the 6/16 seemingly reference from the song. Uh, so here's the song she did with Schoolboy Q, who got pretty radio famous. Exactly 56 weeks later, she's dead. And what's this part about phenomenon? It's on the album Phenomenon. His album is Phenomenon. So it's like, all of these people are connected, but her death is truly synced with his. So, I mean, it's probably mostly for him. But the point is, you just see how the industry operates this way and how the same numbers keep coming back. That's why right now I'm working on this children's book series idea where I'm trying to keep each book to one number, but making it so there's clever tie ins with each book so that you're like, oh, yeah, I see how these things come together. Anyway, I just know one number at a time is best, but you can never communicate the full picture with just one number. Yeah, so 56 weeks. Boom. RIP to her. But yeah, again, I mean, I don't know how people can think it's all just a coincidence, just the same stuff year after year. And it's always like that too when we decode things in real time, we break it down, prove the point even further. Like, oh yeah, there was a story. I gotta go back and look at that one. Oh my God, look at it. It's like the exact same thing. So David Casanova says there's always also the connection between Lil Nas X's song J Christ with his birthday on April 9th, a day after the eclipse. 25 weeks between 2023 and 2024 solar eclipse. March 25th was lunar eclipse. Just a reminder that what your post reminds me about is, again, DMX announced dead on Lil Nas X's birthday. And DMX's death ritual was all synced with LL Cool J and his song 4321. DMX announced like a vegetable on 4321 right after the GOAT ritual with 43-year-old Tom Brady. And then that song 4321 ends with LL Cool J, who has channel 43 on Sirius XM, saying he's the greatest of all time. Remember, GOAT equals 43, greatest of all time equals 188. Brady won Super Bowl 55 at age 43, 188 days after his birthday. And one of the creepiest things ever, too, that I didn't do on purpose is you might remember I put out like a 20-second video for people before Super Bowl 55, just a freebie for everybody about how it was 188 days after Brady's 43rd birthday. And I just played the song, the Black Rob song, like, whoa. The explanation of him explaining how things are like, whoa. But then what was messed up is DMX died in the GOAT ritual right after that, and then Black Rob died right behind them. And what I realized at the time was like both of these guys were on the Mace song on Bad Boy Records, 24 Hours to Live, and they both died right next to each other 24 years after putting that song out with Bad Boy. And we all know what's going on with Diddy right now at age 54, getting prosecuted by the same Jesuit lawyer from Georgetown as 54-year-old R. Kelly did. And again, if you guys are new here, Jesuit orders 54 and 72. Diddy's dad was shot to death in 72 when he was 33. But yeah, just so many rituals over the years. So many rituals. So we'll save something for this weekend. Jonathan's going to be with us. He's going to bring together the top list of 38 in hip hop related death, at least in his opinion. And hopefully we'll have some good calls and we can build a nice list as a community. And I mean, again, it might be a very opportune time to teach about 38 specials in hip hop if one of these guys ends up in a darker headline, if you know what I mean. Might be a whole generation that can learn about gematria and how this show business world is messed up and needs to be stopped. Why they're putting out songs like Gematria, the killing name, and Murder by Numbers, and movies about it. And Amazon's remaking Agatha Christie's The ABC Murders. Actually, hold on. Just to make a point about the ABC murders and the long pattern of 56, let's just scroll down real quick and check out the gematria of Agatha Christie's The ABC Murders. Notice it's 56 forwards, 79 in reverse, like Society of Jesus is 56 and 79. Again, remember Anthony Fauci's 56, like coronavirus, like COVID vaccine, and they declared the pandemic on his 79th day of being 79 years old. That 56-meter clearance bridge just came down 79 years after the Salvador Dali painting, The Broken Bridge in the Dream, which the media compared the bridge to, and it was taken down by the boat, the Dali. And on and on and on. The list just goes on and on and on. I just remembered one other thing. If you add up all of the numbers, check this out. If you add up all of the numbers on this movie poster, so you can see in orange going down the page, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the 8 is yellow to match with the movie title, but then you got an orange 9 down here. So if you add up 1 through 9, that adds up to 45. 45 is the ninth triangular number. So all you have left to add is the 3 and the E in murder. That's 48. And the 8 in numbers, that's 56. So murder by numbers, that the numbers on this add up to 56. You see what I mean? Just like how we brought it back to that girl who's dead 56 weeks after doing the single with Schoolboy Q, and she's dead on the 38th day of the year. And then this thing today, the scare at Drake's house on the 56th date numerology synced up with the record label while he's in his 38th year of life, coming up on his 38th birthday. Again, 170 days from his 38th birthday, another fateful number. I bet if I went through and just searched my old post with sacrifice and 170 to search for that, we'd probably just find like 1,000 posts where the 38's also in there too. Because that's the way it is when you go back over all this stuff over the years. People always say, I can't believe Zach remembers all that he remembers. You guys, I hardly remember anything out of what I cover, really, in terms of percentages. I bet you out of the 30-some thousand, well, it's way more than that. We're probably up to 40-some thousand posts now. I bet you out of the 40-some thousand posts I've ever done, I probably don't even remember 1% of all of them. But I know a lot of concrete examples I can always come to. But I've forgotten some too. So anyway, thank you to everyone who hits the like and the share. Thank you to everyone who supports the work. Thank you to everyone who adds to the research. Thank you to everyone who started their own social media and is putting this information out there. Again, introduce this knowledge the right way. Maybe before you even give them the numbers, talk about how there's these songs out there, these movies out there, these TV shows out there alluding to this, and then kind of show people the way it works. Or maybe pretty soon you'll have Jonathan's 38 special in your hands and you can just flip through the pages, go down memory lane, all the 38 specials in hip hop history. And keep in mind, we're coming up on the 50th anniversary of hip hop's, or we're in this 50th anniversary of hip hop right now, but I mean, pretty soon it'll be the 51st anniversary on August 11th. We know that Magoo died at age 50 right after it turned 50. And we know what they did to Hawaii, the 50th state, on the anniversary of the 808 area code. If you guys didn't realize that Hawaii burned up on August 8th, Hawaii was made the 808 area code in history on August 8th. And the 808 drum machine from Japan, not far from Hawaii, is what hip hop music was built on. So Hawaii was burning up as hip hop's 50th anniversary was happening. And if you missed my work back then, it was very much connected to Kanye West, who did the 808s and Heartbreak album. And then he's very connected to Obama, who's supposedly from Hawaii. Remember Barack Hussein Obama, Joe Biden, and Maui all equal 64. And Joe Biden, his old wingman, showed up on Hawaii's 64th birthday to talk about the fire. All crazy high ritual connected to all these people who've been moved into the world stage. And again, the thing about Kanye is he's been connected to environmental disasters because of how he got famous after Katrina, saying George Bush doesn't care about black people. And they said it was the winds of Hurricane Dora that had no rain that made the fire crazy. That was the story in Maui. So, but yeah, if you missed the work on Maui last year, there's a ton to it. It's not just that. That was just one of the angles on what they really did in Maui last year. The live stream with Jonathan, he's been real busy lately, but he said Sunday's gonna be the day that's good for him, so we'll be planning for Sunday. If he has to flex it into Saturday, we'll make that happen, but probably Sunday. And I just know with lately, it's been hard to pin down an exact time with Jonathan, but I imagine it'll be in the evening time. And I think it's gonna be a good show. So get to hear from Jonathan because he's been busy for a minute. So this comment right here for my friend Crazy Double Seven. Uh, if it's on the screens, the gematria applies. I mean, pretty much everything they're giving us through the media and the news is encoded Kabbalistic distraction, deception, division, propaganda, pretty much every day without exception. The stuff that's in the screens. There is an organic side of this that can occasionally seemingly show up in our own lives, but we know our own lives aren't structured by the numbers every day. You look at the media, every day it's like this. I mean, and I'm here proving it every day. Anybody wants to say it's not like this every day, next time I have an open line call-in show, you should be the first to call in and tell me how it's not like this every day, because I know I've been here for over a decade showing how it is every single day. And sadly, we've called several of these entertainers expirations before they happen. And I always feel bad when that happens. So I hope that doesn't happen here, but it would be more of what we've seen in the past. All right, we'll leave it there, True Seeker. Until next time.